Hello, everybody, and welcome. Kairos TCG here, and this is episode 9 of Pokemon Card of the Week. Before we go into the video, I would also like to give a shout out to all the trainers, all the players, all the players that I know personally from the Discord server that are going to NAIC. Good luck to you all. It's this weekend. Good luck to you all, and be nice to bring back a souvenir. You don't have to, but it'd be nice if you did. Anyway, episode 9 is going to be a very interesting one because in this case, we're going to be talking about supporters, specifically from the trainer aspect. So, when you have trainers, they're pretty interesting with cards like Boss's Orders that lets you swap in a Pokemon from your opponent's active Pokemon and swap it for a Pokemon in bench from a multitude of different ones. Some can let you draw cards, some can let you flip a coin, lets you search for additional stuff, so on and so forth. The possibilities are endless. For this particular video, I'm going to be showing off some of my personal favorite trainers, supporters, whatever you want to call them. I'm still going to call them trainers despite everything. Now, I'm not basing these choices based on playable use. I only picked them because they're either my personal favorite trainers or my favorite NPCs based off of the games. So, with that being said, let's dive into the first. This one is a little interesting. This is a Boss's Orders Getsis. The Japanese set is Triplet Beat. Now, in America, when we got it here in the West, it's Paldea Evolved. Now, Getsis in this set, in Paldea Evolved, has two arts. This is the regular art, and this, right here on the screen on my other phone, this is the alt art. And you have to admit, both arts are really good, but most people go with this one. Because if you look closely, he has his own map, and he's playing with dice. He has his own, little stuff into it. But let's dive back into the Getsis, the regular full art. This is a Japanese one. I actually had to look up what the different, I'm not even going to try to take it out. So I can assume he's in a church of some sort or a certain building. It has to be something from Gen 5 because he wouldn't be in Paldea, because why would he come to Paldea unless they're foreshadowing something? But I digress, that's probably not the case. In this case, he's one of my favorite villains, with Giovanni being number 1 on my list. He's number 2. And there's a multitude of them, but that's not the reason for this video. So he's a really nice card to have, and his effect basically is switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So if you have a bunch of Boss's Orders, you should be familiar with how the effects go. But since in Japanese, I had to look at the English one. So next up, we have one of my favorite flying type trainers from Gen 2 is Falconer Full Art. This is also from Paldea Evolved. And this time we can actually take the card out and, draw. So it lets you draw 2 cards, and if you have a stadium in play, you can draw 2 more. So you draw more cards. Funny little fact for him is that in the games, all of his Pokemon are not his. They're his father's. So he technically doesn't have Pokemon of his own. Unless, if you want to say Heart Gold and Soul Silver, like the rematch battles, he probably has his own Pokemon. Or he's still using his father's own with a mixture of Pokemon that he caught. If anything, I really think Faulkner should get his own Pokemon instead of using his father's, you know? Because his father was the gym leader before him. So I guess it comes full circle. And next up is Chantal. This one is one of my other favorites from Paradox Rift. She is one of my favorite Elite Four members from Generation 5 because she uses ghost types, with the other Elite Four member from Generation 3 being Phoebe and Generation 1 being Agatha. I like her because she kind of reminds me, well, I would have said Velma from Scooby-Doo because of the glasses, but the big bow or coat kind of makes it a little different. In the game, she's always seen with her pen and paper, a pen and her book. I'm assuming she's like an author of some sort or a poet. But this is actually one of my personal favorite trainers in terms for the ghost types. The other one also being Alistair from Sword and Shield with the mask. Okay, next up we have another trainer from Generation 2, Morty's Conviction. He is also one of my other... He also uses ghost-type Pokemon. The alt art of this shows him with his trusty Gengar, him sitting next to a table, and the Gengar is just right next to him. I apologize that I do not have the alt art, but hopefully in the future I will show that off when I get my hands on it. This is from TF. Oh boy. But I'm not even going to try to figure out what set this one is from. But it's a really nice card because you can see the moon on the top. And just Morty is, fun little fact, I've been calling him Monty this whole time instead of Morty, because I used to think that Monty just sounded a lot better than Morty. Plus, the whole Rick and Morty thing, I guess that's another possible thing. And next up, we have a decent amount here. Next up, we have the Saguaro. Dude looks very terrifying. His eyes is very terrifying. I think, if I remember correctly from Paldea Evolved, I do believe that the alt art has him with a Jigglypuff in it. He's much of a cook, if I remember correctly from the games. His design, it's his eyes that kind of scare me a little. But other than that, I think it's a really nice art for the teachers of Paldea. So it really shows off the multiple different teachers from across the different Scarlet and Violet sets, that the teachers and the gym leaders get full arts. And this is one of my personal favorites. So we're going to be winding down now. Now we have the Gita from Obsidian Flame. Now I know the last one I didn't figure it out. I didn't say from Morty's Conviction. I didn't. Temporal Forces. Okay, so Morty is from Temporal Forces, and this one, and from Paldea Evolved. So this one is from Obsidian Flame, and this is the Gita alt art. The card is not that good effect-wise, but you have to admit, the art is really nice. She's just sitting down, reading a book, and let's take it out of the sleeve real quick, because you have to admit that the shine of the card kind of gives it that extra oomph. I really, in the games, I don't her team, they had to fix her team in the games because it was really bad. In the recent couple updates on the Switch, they had to fix her team. In the games, her eyes are ridiculously big. Like, that's probably not something I should be talking about, but this is actually one of my favorite out of the Scarlet and Violet alt arts. This is actually one of my favorites, regardless of the effect of the card. Now, we're really winding down. Next up, we have the Nemona alt art. Nemona. This one is from Paldean Fates. And this is the alt art. I do have the regular art, but I decided to choose this one because this one is the better of the two. It's really nice because it shows off how much of a rival that she is to you, the trainer, you, the main character in these Scarlet and Violet games. As you could see her just throwing the Pokeball right here, and her trusty Palmet is in the background. And I guess if we look, I'm assuming they're just outside about to battle, and she's smiling, so I'm assuming that she's about to start or finishing a battle, or maybe the Pokemon inside the Pokeball is the last Pokemon on her team. Also, if I do get the sets wrong for each card, I do apologize in advance. Next up, we have Bianca's Devotion. This one is from Temporal Forces. Now, normally, I like Bianca as a trainer, but I'm really sad that they did not go for the black 2, white 2 version of her with the different design, since that version is roughly better than most, but I had to get the Bianca's Devotion because she's one of my favorite female trainers of all time. Do I think she's a good rival? Definitely not. In the games? Definitely not. Sharon is the better of the two. And it does help that in Black 2, White 2, he does become the first gym leader for the normal typing. And, oh, wait, we have the Caretaker. It's just from the Kitakami. I have a lot of gripes with this old man because he makes you pay money to fix in the festival grounds. And if you give him almost like 1,000,000 Poké-Dollars, you get like a costume. A costume, and you get something else. I don't remember. You do get an outfit referencing the Kitakami Festival. And he is kind of oblivious in the game. He is a bit oblivious to the whole Ogerpon being the good guy and the loyal 3, Okidogi, Pheasantipity, and Monkey Dory are the troublemakers. The citizens of Kitakami were kind of oblivious to that fact until, they realized that they were telling the truth. And last but not least, we have one of my favorite kahunas from Sun and Moon, Lana's Aid. This one is from Twilight Masquerade, one of the recent sets that came out. The reason why I like her is because not just in the card game, but in the anime, in Cosmic Eclipse, if I remember correctly, there's an art of her with a Wishiwashi, which is one of my favorite water-type Pokemon. And personally, I really wished, I hope they do more of the kahunas in future sets because... And then also, it's really nice to just have throwbacks. Even if it doesn't make sense in terms of the set, it just feels right. Also, the other reason why I like her is because in the anime, she has a Poplio. And it's also interesting that her Brion fought a Kyogre in the anime, which allowed it to evolve into a Primarina. Because in the anime, everybody that fights a legendary, their Pokemon evolves for some reason or the other. It just adds extra plot. And, well, that's it. So, let's go over the trainers that we've talked about. We, Getsis, Faulkner, Chantal, Morty, Saguaro, Gita, Altart, Nimona, Altart, Bianca's Devotion, the Caretaker. If I were to give him a name, it would probably be Chuck. And I'm not saying that because he's bald. And Lana. There are many other trainers that I like. It's just that I do not have them all. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode of Pokemon Card of the Week. I apologize for the toilet bowls. The bathroom is like nearby my room, so I'll, see y'all in the next one.